welcome to First Impressions, where we try to take a look at the first episode and the promotional material of a brand new anime series released this season and try to come up with a conclusion of what I think the show will be about, what I will expect from the show, and whether I am going to like it or not based solely on those factors. And you never know if a first impression video will turn up as a traditional American anime otaku review later on down the line when it is released in American markets. Online games are a wonder in and of themselves. After all, MMO games have become so big that there's even a live-action Warcraft movie coming out. That alone should tell you how big MMO games are. Many of these games try to mimic real life as possible to get you sucked into their world, and then nickel and diming you for every action in the game, but that is not important right now. Another reason for playing these types of games is to meet new people. But if you think that MMOs are a great way to meet girls online, I don't think it's such a good idea. After all, you come across some player who has a cutely designed female avatar they swear is closest to themselves. So you imagine that you are talking to one of these drop-dead gorgeous things, when in reality you are talking to this asshole. Then if that person on the other side of the screen actually happens to be a girl, you end up talking to someone like this. But what happens if, say, in that once in a blue moon, that person actually does turn out to be a cute girl and she has affections for you as well, and you thought there was never a girl online? No, really, that is the name of today's First Impressions review. This light novel adaptation by Shibai Kineko and ASCII Media Works was animated by Project Number 9. If you don't know who these guys are, it is probably because they are a relatively new animation studio, with their most well-known work being Roku. But before we get sidetracked, the story involves a gamer of a game called Legendary Age named Hideki Nishimura. Hideki one day gets an in-game marriage proposal from another member of his guild. But after confessing to a girl who says that she is a man in reality online, he swears that kind of stuff off. But he reluctantly accepts her in-game marriage offer after she wears him down. When he finally meets up with the rest of his guild members in the real world, he is shocked to discover that not only are they all actually girls, but they all attend the same school as him. Honestly, this anime is kind of cute, and the first episode was actually kind of funny. It's already clear how this group of characters are friends with each other online. The big question I have how they would end up treating each other and how their relationships will develop in the real world. If anything, the show is probably heading towards developing the relationship between Akko and Nishimura in real life. Honestly, that is what I would prefer, but it is too early to tell at this stage. But hey, at least it doesn't revolve around an online game in which everyone involved ends up getting stuck in it. It's not that I hate Sword Art Online, it's just that I'll explain that in a later review. This series seems to tackle a practical problem of real life and dealing with people with fake identities that we often come across with online. This certainly sounds like an interesting commentary when it comes to the online world and the real world. What interests me about this anime is how these topics will be carried out through the course of the anime. It seems I am not the only one, as Funimation seems to have a lot of faith in it, seeing that they just announced an English dub for this anime. While it definitely has an interesting concept of the online world versus the real world, my biggest fear is that it gets so caught up with the status quo in anime that it turns itself into a generic harem comedy anime. I'll wait to see how the story goes, as the episode was used primarily to introduce us to the characters and set up the story. The second episode will tell us how the show is going to proceed from there. So in that case, I won't mind giving this anime a proper follow-up once Funimation releases the English dub on DVD and Blu-ray. So with that, I am going to give And You Thought There Was Never a Girl Online 6 points for initial interest. Until next time, this is the American Anime Otaku, signing out.